I want to share with you guys how I audit my beliefs to change the results that I get in life. This is vitally, vitally important. It's not woo-woo, it's not up in the air. This is real life, how it works. And if you're not getting the results you want in life, chances are it's because of this principle. And if I show you this, it will set you free. So let's get right into it. See, if you're getting the wrong result, you need to check your belief. Most people think that, oh, I'm not taking enough action. I'm not doing the right actions. I can't make myself do the thing, do the hard work. If you keep running into a wall, you tell yourself to do the right stuff and you can't do it, it's because of your beliefs. Here is how results happen. First, you have a belief. And based on what you believe, changes how you act. And how you act is what gives you the result or not. And then the results you get reinforces the belief that you had that got that result. That's the craziest thing. And so this can be a positive exponential feedback loop, or it can be negative. And most people in life, this is negative. Let me give you a real example from my business from recent months. So I have a sales guy, and his belief coming in, based on past belief, action, and results, was that people from third world countries are never going to buy, and they won't pay in full for our program. We have a multi-$1,000 program. They won't pay in full. He also had a belief that if someone leaves the sales call, that money's gone. They're never coming back. And so what would this belief lead him to do? Well, if he got on a call with someone in third world country, he would act like they're not going to buy. He wouldn't listen to them as well. He wouldn't pay attention to what they're saying. He wouldn't take them seriously. He framed the whole call with this belief, this judgment that they don't have the money. They're from India. Okay? So what was the result? Well, if he wasn't listening to them, he wasn't conducting the call well, he wasn't being respectful, he wasn't giving them his full attention and sales ability, the result was they probably wouldn't buy. So what did that do? It reinforces the belief because more people from third world countries aren't buying for him, so he believes that they don't buy, which means he sells even worse, which means it's just negative feedback loop. So here's how he fixed it, right? We showed him calls that we closed from people from India paying in full over and over again. And when he began to see that, oh, wow, this can work, and people from India can find the money if they're serious enough, and people from third world countries will buy, they can pay in full, that changes what he believed. Which then next time he interacted with someone from a third world country on a sales call, he gave them their full attention. He just did his job well. He helped break their beliefs. He stayed with them the full hour, like the whole 9 yards, guys. And because he sold better, guess what? He closed some people from India, which then reinforced his beliefs. So now instead of this becoming a negative, we're slowly spinning this back positive. And this doesn't happen overnight. It's going to take time. And we're still working on it with our sales guys. But this is how you must understand things. So if you're not getting clients, if you're not doing outreach, it's because your beliefs. You don't believe that it works. You have these faulty beliefs that you don't even realize you have. You think making money is hard, but there's not money out there. You think, like, oh, there's not enough money for everyone to make $10K a month. There's not enough money for that. Outreach doesn't work. It's oversaturated. False. There are people doing $1 million a month with just cold outreach, and you can't get one client? It's false. It's a limiting belief. You're shooting yourself in the foot. And so if you don't believe that outreach works, if you don't believe you can do it, guess what? You're not going to do it. You might send 2 outreaches, 5 outreaches, maybe even 10. You can fake it for a while, but you can't fake it forever. And you will then stop sending outreach, which means you think it doesn't work, which means you believe it does work even harder. So you can't just keep your beliefs neutral. They're either growing more positive or more negative. You're reconfirming your beliefs every single day. This has caused me a lot of pain in my life. I've struggled with anxiety for years. For years, I've struggled with crippling anxiety, feeling like the whole world is going to just collapse. I feel like my body, like I'm shutting down, I'm having a heart attack. And a couple years ago, I believed that, or I found this idea that like, oh, if I eat carnivore, it's gonna, like, my anxiety is gonna go away. right? If I eat carnivore. And so what happened is I started to eat nothing but meat. I started to believe that carbs would kill me. I was genuinely scared of broccoli. Think of how crazy that sounds. But it happened slowly. I started eating more meat and I was like, oh, this is good. Chances are I was probably just low on B12 and I ate some meat and I felt great. But I told myself that, oh, meat will save my life. Meat is everything. So what did I do? I ate more meat. The result is I felt good for a little bit. But then I started to just have more and more panic attacks because I was so scared of broccoli. I was so scared of carbs. And this got negative and negative. I was like, and I just thought, oh, I gotta eat more strict, more strict, more strict. I ended up doing 40 days where I didn't even have a lemon. I didn't even taste a lemon. I remember standing there at the fridge looking at the lemon saying, I just want to taste something other than meat so bad. And I didn't because I was so set in my beliefs that it was gonna kill me. I thought a lemon would kill me. This is why you have to be so careful. You must watch out for this. This will ruin or bless your life depending on how you utilize it. And the first step is understanding that this exists. Everything you do is because you believe something that leads you to do that thing. So how do you change this? How do you use this to change your life? How do you get clients? How do you make money? How do you become a more Christ-like person by using this? Here's the steps. Number one, identify. So recently I did an entire belief audit on my beliefs. I do this, I don't know, every couple months or so, and it's very, brings me a lot of humility and a lot of change. And I can tie like the biggest seasons of change in my life is always comes from doing a belief audit. It always does. And so I was getting overwhelmed with my business. I was getting stressed out, getting anxious again. And I sat down and thought of all of my beliefs. I just identified my beliefs. I just prayed. I was like, God, show me what I'm believing. Show me what's wrong and why I'm being so stressed out. And I got humbled because I had so many beliefs. I'll actually read them to you right now. I won't read all of them, but let me read some of them. So I identified my false beliefs. Let's pull up my journal. Hang with me for a second, guys. And I'm not going to lie. I was just like laying on my couch weeping because of like how broken my beliefs were and how God showed those to me. And so let me share with you this right now. So one of the beliefs that I had was, I asked myself, why am I panicking? Here are the false beliefs. If I don't work every second of every day, my business will fail. If I don't work, then God can't use my business. God needs me to accomplish his mission. And where I'm at today, based on my doing and my hard work. I don't need rest. Rest is for the weak. I love the status and ego boost I get from working harder than everyone else. I'm better than anyone that I work harder than. I don't need to listen to people who aren't making as much money as me. There's many more, as sad as that is. But these were all the false beliefs that God showed me that I was believing that was causing me, like because I believed that I shouldn't listen to anyone making more money than me, the action is I wouldn't listen to people. I wouldn't humble myself. And the result was I got more prideful, which meant which means that it negatively impacted this. And then I got more prideful and I believed even harder that I shouldn't listen to people who don't make as much money as me. And the action was I wouldn't listen to people. I got more and more prideful, like just pride, awful, negative, downhill slope. And I identified like a bunch of these beliefs in my life. So once you identify them, which takes humility, humility is the agent of change. If you want to change, you need humility. Because the opposite of humility says that I'm right and I don't need to change. No one else can teach me anything because I'm right. I know what I need to do. Prideful. So if you want to change, you must lay down and admit that you are wrong, which takes humility, which is why the Bible is the source of all truth in life, right? The Bible is the book of humility. Brings us to number 2. Once you've identified those beliefs, you must replace them with truth. So there are truths of this world. There are things people think to be true, like, oh, my truth and your truth. That's not what truth means. There's one truth. One. People like to skew truth in the world. And this is what the enemy wants. especially us as believers. The enemy wants us to start questioning things that we know to be true. Like there are two genders, male and female. I don't give a frick what anyone thinks. There's two. That's just how the world is. But our current state of the world is trying to cause mass confusion by telling people that there's a bajillion genders and you can be a cat if you feel like it, which is false. That's not truth. And that will lead to chaos in your life if you start giving in to these things that are not true. And so that begs the question, where do we find real truth? And I asked myself this when I was younger. I was like, how do I know what's true? Because if we're being honest, you can't trust your history books. You weren't there. I wasn't there. No one was there. So how do you know? How do you know things are true? Because someone wrote the history book. I guarantee you it's skewed one way or the other. Someone wrote it. Someone's writing the news stories. It's skewed. So where do we find truth? And so I went looking in a lot of different places. But there's only one place that I now go to for truth, ultimate truth. And that is the Bible. The Bible is truth, capital T. The truth of the world, the truth of the future, the truth of everything that happens. Like, I tested this. I literally just sat there and thought, like, I would read the Bible and I would look out and see what's happening in reality. Try to be unbiased as possible, and I'd be like, this is it. This explains it. This makes complete sense. After seeing reality and reading the Bible, this is it. This is true. And there's things in the Bible that I don't understand. But I have faith. I 100% believe that the Bible is true. And so when I'm looking to fix my beliefs, the only place I go, right, is the Bible or reality, looking in reality. So obviously the Bible doesn't teach us things about outreach, right? It doesn't say, oh, you must send 100 outreaches a day. Like, the Bible's not going to have that in there, but it has the principles. And so when I was making high value outreach, guess what I went to? The Bible. The Bible says, he who refreshes others will be refreshed. And so I just started sending people free work because I was like, you know what? I'm just going to refresh others. And the worst case scenario is I help people, which is a good scenario. So even if I don't make money, I'm just going to help people and see what happens, right? And God blessed it. And so once you identify your false belief, I go straight to the Bible to think, what does the Bible say? And I replace this false belief with a new belief. So this bad belief that's causing negative action, I replace it with a brand new belief. And so let's give two examples, one using the Bible and one just kind of like observing reality, okay? So the first is, we'll use one of my beliefs, which is, if I don't work every second of every day, the business will fail. So I went and found scripture to combat this belief, which is Proverbs 3, 5 through 6. And I'll read that for you guys real quick, because I don't have this one memorized. But it says, trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him and he will make your path straight. So the old belief was, if I don't work every second of every day, the business will fail. What does that sound like? That sounds like not committing to the Lord, not acknowledging his plans, and leaning on my own understanding, which is everything the Bible says not to do. So I replaced it with a brand new belief. So that's what you must do. Then we'll talk about how to actually implement this, but that's what you must do to replace it. Now let's look at the world. So in my sales guy example, he believed that no one from the third world country is ever going to buy on a sales call. It's not even worth it. So we just showed him reality. We just said, look, is that true across every single person? No. Why? Because there are people, like, you go Google India and look at how many billions of dollars are in India. People can afford a couple $1,000 course, right? You think that there's not enough money in the world for you to make a lot of money. Go outside, if you live in a city, and throw a rock. You're going to hit $1 million building. There is millions of dollars everywhere. Think about, like, I grew up in a small town, and there was still $1 million stuff there, property, houses, in a small town in the middle of nowhere, Alabama. There is millions of dollars everywhere, trillions in the world. So to say that you can't make 10K a month is just ridiculous. It's not reality. You got to stop and think, what is reality? Same thing goes for college. People think, oh, let me just go to college and my life will be great. False. It's not that black and white. If you need to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, yes, you probably should. But if you want to start a business, guess what? Start a freaking business. Don't go to college. Start a business. That's how you learn business. And most of my professors never owned a business. So why am I listening to people about how to start a business from people who have never started a business? Right? You always have, it's not that black and white. You have to just think, observe reality, and change your beliefs accordingly. And so this happened to me, my carnivore journey. I looked around and said, okay, everyone that I've ever seen my entire life eats carbs and vegetables. Are they dead? Are they panicking? No. So carnivore is not going to save my life. Only God will, which is why I replace everything with the Bible. So once you've identified the false belief, you've replaced it with truth using the Bible or just observing reality. 3, you must rewrite it. You must write your new story, your new belief, which is going to change the action, which is going to change the result. And so in my example of these beliefs, right, I write these beliefs every single day. I wrote it a couple hours ago after I spent my time with the Lord. I have 10 beliefs that I read every single morning. I'll read you a couple of them. Number 1, I will trust God with my life and business, acknowledging Him in all things and leaning not on my own understanding. Number 2, God is a creator and sustainer of all things. He does not need me or my business to accomplish His mission. Number 3, whatever I've been given has been given to me through grace. Whether I plant or whether I water the seeds, I am nothing, for it is God who gives growth. Number 4, I will rest daily in God, knowing that I am weak and in my weakness He is strong. Do you see how these 4 beliefs are completely opposite of all those prideful, evil, negative beliefs that I had? And these beliefs lead me to do completely different things, which gives me that insane positive result. So yeah, guys, I know this got deep, but this is everything. This is everything. So I pray that you guys would examine your beliefs and think, okay, what is wrong here? Why am I not getting the result I want? And what belief is causing this? And then replace that belief with truth from the Bible, and then rewrite these things every morning. So every single morning, I rewrite these 10 beliefs. Every day. Because I want to rewrite my story. I want to change my outcome by rewriting these beliefs with truth. And if I continue rewriting that truth, guess what? I start to actually believe it. That's another important part. You're not going to believe these things immediately. You can't just flip a switch and immediately start believing something different, 100%. Sometimes it happens, but usually not. So what you must do is slowly, it's like turning a cruise ship. You must slowly start turning yourself towards the right beliefs. And you do that by every single day writing the belief out and taking action on that belief. And eventually, what will happen is you will get this result. So let's say my sales guy, he rewrites his belief. People from third world countries can buy my product if it is valuable enough, and if I increase their pain and confidence through sales to the point where they have to buy it, if they need it, of course. If that's his belief, and he writes it every single day, he doesn't fully believe it yet, but he writes it. Then he hops on a sales call and just forces himself to believe this and act in accordance with that belief on the sales call. Maybe the first couple guys from third world countries don't buy. But he keeps rewriting it. He keeps telling himself, they can buy, they can. I have to be a better salesman. I have to be a better salesman. Then one day they buy. They pay in full from a third world country immediately on the sales call. Guess what that result does? It reinforces that belief. Now it's becoming concrete. And guess what? This becomes easier and easier and easier, and the results go insane. You must pay attention to your beliefs. Hopefully this helps you guys. If you have any questions, let me know. And see you guys later.